Okay, so I am really, really bad at marketing myself, so to speak. I'm the type of person who prefers to just look at you while you're reading a book. Either the one I've written, that's the one that I'm more like, okay, here, really read that. That's also the one I'm more like, oh no, are they gonna like it? Are they gonna like it? Are they gonna like it? Or what? Whereas other books, I shamelessly put in your face and I'm like, read this. So, I am not going to talk about myself a lot. What I'm going to do is what I have always tended to do is let my work speak for itself. So, without any further ado, here is a sneak peek of the first bit of that super secret story I just won't shut up about. It's the first paragraph of Fated. The girl in his arms gasped for air. Blood bubbled around the knife in her ribs, wet crimson coating his fingers in warmth. The girl blinked one more time, and just like that quietly, she was gone. A day ago she'd been much different, bold with life. She had been 16 years old, and her name was Allie. She had smiled at him, danced with him, kissed him. He lowered her to the ground and pulled the knife out from between her ribs, the blade scraping bone as it went. Allie's blood clung to his hand and stained the knife, his stolen jeans. Her blood stamped him, named him. Murderer. The knife hit the ground with a dull thump. A staccato roll of thunder echoed overhead as the dark, brewing skies were lit briefly by a snaking tendril of lightning. As the pregnant clouds cracked and raged, pounding him with wind and rain, he walked away from Allie's body. The storm flattened his shirt against his chest and washed away the blood, but it couldn't touch his guilt. One more, he murmured, clutching rain-slick fists against his thighs. Only one more kill left. Now, you want to read the rest? Well, now, here's the talking about myself part, which I am going to be extremely awkward through. Warning. Okay, so, as most of you who are Inkshares already know, the minimum order goal to get published is 250. As of now, when I have filmed this video, I'm sitting at 108. That means I still have basically about 140, well, I'm terrible at math. Basically, we're just going to round up or round down or whatever. We're going to say 150. I have about 150 orders left to go. Now, usually in today's world, for the most books, that's not that big of a deal, Everyone usually would know what the book is about. They would hear and just see some big name on it, like the New York Times or some famous person putting a blurb on it. What I have discovered with self-publishing is that who is talking about the book is really what matters instead of the book itself, which really doesn't make sense to me because you would think, the whole thing, don't judge a book by its cover. Although, there are some really good covers out there, and I am guilty of judging by the cover, as I have seen and found some of them even through Inkshares. You see that cover, you're just like, I need to read this book. Well, anyways, that all aside, I'm gonna try to say this metaphor which I've been in my head for a couple of days, and it's because I was eating ice cream when I thought of it, but publishing is like ice cream, and the mainstream publishing world, all the big Random House and Scholastic and all of them, they're like, the Baskin and Robbins of ice cream, whereas the mom and pop stores, not many people know about them except through just the little groups around them, but everyone pretty much and should know Baskin Robbins, right? Well, self-publishing is like starting a mom and pop ice cream store right next to a big old Walmart-sized Baskin Robbins. It's like almost impossible. Except, maybe you have better ice cream than Baskin Robbins. And I'd like to think my ice cream, my stories, like I said, terrible metaphor, are a little bit better. And the point of this video is to try and convince you to at least just read my stories. And if they don't speak to you, then you know what? It's probably not worth your time to buy them. But here's where the part where I'm going to ask you for your money. To get an ebook for Scribbles, which you can get internationally, won't cost you any shipping at all, it's going to take about $5 out of your pocket, US money. But what it does, well, as a very awesome thing, which I had sitting around here. Okay, here we go. Anyone who orders a copy of Scribbles automatically gets a copy of this, signed by me, one of the stories from Scribbles. This one has a lot of personal loves and stuff for me in it, and I'd really like to give you a copy. So that's where it is. And also, every 10 orders, you will be in to win one of 4 art prints that, here's some new information about them, they're going to be signed, and they're going to each have a handwritten, like, quote and sneak peek from the stories on them, individualized per print, so not everyone will be the same. But then also, if you are gracious enough to buy 3 or more copies of Scribbles, you will automatically win all 4 art prints, plus a copy of 5 Minutes. So that's basically about all I've got right now. And I hope my awkward attempt at marketing has sold you on at least 1 copy of Scribbles, because I would really like to get published through Inkshares. And that's it.